Well, hello there. I've been putting this video off. I finished Sherlock Holmes. That is my big thing. It took me 10 months of reading it on and off on my Kindle, and they are fantastic stories. Guys, for stories that were written way out of my time, they're fantastic. They feel so real, they feel so relevant. There are things in them where you're like, hang on, no, that wouldn't make sense. You can't tell that someone is American because of the style of their shoes, because you don't get that these days. The world is so commercialised, it's so capitalist, that every country has Doc Martens. You can't say that you have to be British to have Doc Martens because they're British boots, because they are all over the world. That is irrelevant. I just love the little things like that. I love how he notices these things that they seem so obvious when he puts them down, but you might not notice them. John doesn't. Yeah, great book. Well, books, multiple stories. I don't have a favourite because they're all fantastic. I mean, sometimes they can get a little dry. There are points, but the overall story compels you through. Now, I might find it easy to read because I'd heard most of the stories already as audio versions on BBC Radio 4 Extra. Yeah, last year I listened to loads of the radio show versions of the stories, so I already knew most of them before I read them. There was still merit in reading them, which was fantastic. I think I've been enthusiastic enough about Sherlock Holmes. I enjoy the films that have been out recently, and I enjoy the BBC series like fantastically so. So if you've not really ever been involved in anything Holmesy, I don't know why. Like, the people who watch this have almost definitely experienced Holmes in some way. You should do it. I've started a book that I bought a while ago, where around the time I bought the book The Rook, which is also a really great one. I think it's called The Girl in the Steel Corset, but I might be just making that up because I haven't actually looked at the title. It is called The Girl in the Steel Corset, but I only just vaguely remembered that because one of the things about reading on your Kindle, if you never leave the book to go back to the home screen, you don't constantly look at the title of the book, or even like a cover of the book, which I kind of miss because there was sort of a ownership of the book you were reading right now. You could show off to the world what you were reading. Every time you picked up the book, you'd be reinforced with like the basic things, the title of the book, which quite often summarises the entire book. I remember when we talked about Cold Mountain in sixth form, we talked about how Cold Mountain is the perfect title for the book. It at first just seems really bland, like it's about Cold Mountain, so there we go. But it sums up so many elements of the book, and to see the title of the book all the time kind of reinforces what's the most important part about the story, and you don't get that on the Kindle very often. Unless you're flicking between books all the time and constantly having to pick the one that you're reading at that moment, you don't actually see the title of the book, which for a moment I actually thought I didn't know the title of the book I'm reading at the moment, which is really weird. I'm talking super fast in this video. I don't really have anything else to say apart from these kind of little book reviews. I'm enjoying it here in Manchester. It's weird, it's strange living by myself in this accommodation, but it's alright, and I get to see James every weekend, and I'm really intensely lucky that I can actually see him. He's only like just over an hour away, which isn't that bad. I know people go through much worse situations than this, long distance relationships which are across the world. I'm enjoying the course is fantastic. I've had a really great day today. As you can tell, I'm really energised. I'm going to the Interesting Board Game Society tonight, which I've talked a bit about before in the Senior Play videos that I'm making, but yes, I'm excited for that. I'm going to go make myself some tea after I've made this video because I am hungry, and that is it. Okay, before I forget, I'm wearing one of my resistor necklaces today. They are for sale on Etsy along with some other jewellery that I make, and that's linked down below, and I shall see you in a few weeks' time, probably. I don't know when I'll see you. Bye!